got 25 minutes. We got to go.
Hey.
Hey, yo.
Hello, world.
Oh, Eddie Head.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's trademark, buddy.
Oh, it might be. Shout out to Eddie Head, who created the Hello World, and then you shake your booty.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. We would play that song, but guys, we still don't have the rights to that yet.
So we are really excited to be back with you guys. If this is the first time that you're with us here on Say That channel, welcome. Welcome to our Wednesdays. It's the original time that we would normally get on. It's 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Western, or Pacific rather. And if you're in Europe, it's probably like 5 p.m. in the evening. We're excited that you're with us. We are all about the ugly come up, right? The ugly come up of entrepreneurship and business ownership. We all know these different entrepreneurs who started from nothing and then have massive success, right? What happens in the middle? What happens during the ugly come up? Well, we're here to talk about all of those things.
And one of the fun things, guys, that we've been doing in this, I guess we're carrying it over from last season, is instead of just interviewing entrepreneurs, we're actually taking content that you guys are sharing with us. And Janelle and I are watching that content with you guys and giving you guys our feedback, because obviously we know that there are a lot of people out there who are looking to help entrepreneurs such as yourself in the ugly come up. And so we love having conversations around anything having to do with business and those things on Wednesday. And make sure, this is going to be a plug here, that you check out our Monday rundowns, guys. If you have not checked out Monday rundowns, you are definitely missing out there. We get to open the scope of our conversation. I know this week was an amazing Monday rundown. So make sure you guys go check that one out. But what do we got on the docket for today, Jenna?
Well, I'm really excited. Today's topic, I think, is a great way to enter into this new season. When you're talking about business, money often comes up. So I'm really excited for today's topic and the video that you're going to see.
I was going to say, Jay, can you actually cue up the video? I don't see it in my end. So throw that up on the backside. All right, guys, let's jump into today's topic. Can open conversations about money strengthen or break our relationships? Now, as two recovering network marketers, I can definitely, no, I'm joking. No, but let me jump into this while Jay gets that set up. So guys, in terms of I'll switch that back over. There we go. All right. Sorry. In terms of this question, I am definitely going to say yes. Well, actually, no. This is funny. It can be either or, actually. I think it can, in fact, strengthen some relationships. And I definitely can give you guys some examples as to how it can tear relationships apart. Now, a big part of building a network marketing business, or maybe building any business essentially, is at some point introducing whatever it is that you're marketing to the people you know. Obviously, you can go out and do just general ads. But this, just to be specific to this question, a large part of building a network marketing business is many companies encourage you to reach out to family members, friends, anybody you may have in your circle who is already an entrepreneur, somebody already who has a business. And so a lot of that now involves you touching base with these people. And to me, having a conversation around the subject of money. Now, for many people, you've probably never had a conversation with your friend about money other than, hey, you owe me money for this, or could you loan me money for this? But when that conversation now broadens to, hey, do you want to invest money into something I'm building? Or would you like to invest money into something that you could build for yourself? I have personally found that conversation garnered both the responses we see here. I had people who lost my number, wouldn't accept calls from me anymore because I reached out about promoting my business. And I had people who I had not talked to in years. And having a very open conversation about where I was in my life financially was the thing that brought us closer together as we went on a journey to build a business. So I'm actually going to play devil's advocate and say, I am actually going to say that this can actually strengthen or break a relationship. I don't know if you want to get into some more specific or different examples.
Actually, I think the examples you gave are great. And it makes me remember, or it reminds me of the conversations that I've had 5 years ago when we started, the lie, 7 years ago when we
Nah,
started our network.
it's longer now, dude.
Eight
Yeah,
years,
it's longer now,
8
dude.
years
We've been in, yeah.
when we started our network, when Winston and I started in the same network marketing company, the conversations I had with friends about money just got weird. Like for many people, it was weird. I'm going to be honest. Like in the very beginning, the people who I was able to have better conversations with were not my closest friends. It was the people who were like like we knew each other. We kind of understood. Some people who saw me in high regard. But we weren't like friends. They weren't like people I would hang out with on the weekend. But the people that were the closest to me, aside from my parents, it just got like really weird when we started to talk about money. So it was something that I noticed. Now, I will say though, like moving forward in the progress of my life, I feel like I am better able to talk about money with friends now, including the people who never saw the network marketing company that I was with. I think I'm better able to I am better able to have those conversations now. But that, like, what transpired in those 8 years is a ton of education, a lot of personal development, a lot of just education. I mean, period, or just about business and money in general. So I just don't think I was in the right place or space to really talk about it in the way that I am now, which gives me a level of confidence and comfort that I didn't really have before.
To add to that, and I know we're going to jump into a video, but to add to what Janelle just pointed out, guys, what many of us may not recognize is, well, we may already know this, but the conversations that you have around your family growing up, to me, sometimes dictate what kind of conversations you have outside the house. And what you find in many wealthy families is they have very open conversations about money. I'm not saying whether those conversations may become, screaming matches over who owes. I'm not saying any of that. But what they do is they do have open dialogue around the money, investing, savings, things that poorer individuals shy away from. They find it, and like our title says, they find it taboo to have conversations like that. One of the things I love now is even when it comes to getting a job, there's more income. What's the term? There's a term for it, where they have to disclose the pay range at a position now. Whereas I don't think that was something that was going on before. So even within a company, I know many people aren't even encouraged to discuss what somebody may be earning compared to what another. And I know Janelle has brought this up on a few different episodes about just the disparity between females and males. And I could imagine if I'm being told at work not to discuss what I'm earning with a coworker, then obviously that kind of stuff will be perpetuated because it's not being put out there. You know what I mean? So you have no idea that you're earning less, but maybe doing more work and so on and so on. So I think on a lot of levels, and we'll see what the guys from Earn Your Leisure have to say about this, and see actually the angle that they take, because maybe it's not as, I think maybe we're just going right at it based on our background, but maybe they have a different take on it. So let's jump into here what those guys have to say, and then we'll jump back into the end and share our closing thoughts.
All right, here we go.
Should you discuss money with your friends? We had this conversation with
conversation.
Last week's episode of assets over liabilities, and got a lot of traction on social media. People, have different commentary on it. She has her views on it. So should you discuss money with your friends?
I think you should know which friends you can have those conversations with. I don't think you can have them with all, because sometimes resentment creeps in, entitlement may creep in. And a lot of times, if we're doing it for quote unquote motivational purposes only, if a person doesn't have it and you're not going to give it to them, it can produce some feelings that they didn't even know that they had. I remember one time, this maybe 2 years ago. So historically, like I have a everyday car and then I have something else that I drive. And one time we went to dinner and I didn't bring the everyday car. My everyday car was like a Mazda. So everybody was cool when I picked up from them. I was like, "Oh, you so humble, down to earth, cool. I can't believe you still driving this." Da, da, da. Right? I bring out the other car, and this is one of my guys. And I get out and he look at me like, yo, I didn't know you had this. But you know when it's a yo, I know you had this and you weren't happy.
Oh,
I was like, I fucked up. Like I should have just take the everyday car out and strip it down. And in those moments, and I know he loves me, but I could see it in his face. The feeling that he had for me was not one of joy. And I wouldn't say this is one of my best friends, but like this is somebody I'm like really cool with. And I've learned like, and we've had these conversations. There's only certain people you can have some of these higher income conversations with because not everyone's going to be happy for you. A good lesson for me is if a person that makes more money than me or we're in the same income bracket within 2 or 3%, I'll have it. If there's a gap or disparity, I won't have the conversation at all. There's too much of a risk. I don't believe in holding back on information or not sharing because I saw that a lot in the comments as well. But to say I made this on this particular deal, or I think it's a recipe for disaster.
That's a good point.
Feel you. I think we're in a unique position because we're friends, we're brothers, but we're in business together. So I feel like, I mean, we have to talk about money.
We have to.
It's not
things are going well.
Yeah, I mean, even on the personal side, I'll have conversations, and I just had one with MG today. It was like I was explaining him from a tax standpoint. Like we have to talk about money. I'm like, look, this is what I paid in taxes last year.
Yeah.
Really? Yeah. Well, this is some of the things I did last year, but I want to figure out, what's the best way in real estate that I could, help alleviate some of these taxes. So, like you said, it's about knowing who you're having a conversation with. I'm not openly saying like, hey, I did this, I made this, but of course, like I mean, I usually first thing I do is like wake up, thank the Lord, open the bank account. Let's see what's in there. Let's see what we at.
Gotta check the money because even the banks will take the money from you if you don't check on it.
Who's missing? Where is the net now? Those are the things I'm looking at. And so like once I see something that's off or something that is delayed, I'll hit. First thing I'm like checking with Danielle, like what's going on.
Yeah.
I'll hit Ab. And then the last thing I do is like, yo, hit Shotty, like, yo, here's the update, here's what's going on. So, I mean, we always talk about money because it's necessary. And then obviously I hit Mike because I know he wakes up a little bit later and he's like in the gym in the morning.
Yeah.
So I'll wait to hit him about something. But yeah, as friends, we do it because we're in business together. So it's a very unique situation, but it's important.
Yeah. Shotty, what you think? Hold it close to the chest. What we doing? Even unless you name Troy Small.
Well, I grew up with these guys, so
yeah,
everything is different.
I mean, I think it's just common sense. Like, you don't talk about money with every single person for no reason. But in this scenario of, trying to work, like the scenario I gave was trying to figure out a deal. Like, podcasters.
Yeah, that's different. Yeah.
Provide information with each other in that way that, you'll be better suited to know, like, okay, this person got this much, then I know that I could, reasonably ask for this much. Like, that's something that's reasonable. Or how much you get for an ad on your show. Like, if you never share that information, then that's not really that beneficial. So I think that that's something you don't necessarily have to be like best of friends. Yeah. You can have like a cordial working relationship to understand, like, Dave Shands, how much are you charging an ad for your show?
Yeah.
I don't think it would be unreasonable for him to tell me. He doesn't have to tell me like how much money he has in his bank account, but there's different money conversations.
Yeah.
So, I think that it's beneficial to have conversations about money when it makes sense, as far as like, if you got a person that you're doing business with or somebody that's in your same peer group or same industry. Industry conversation is very important. I think that's more like outside of it's just common sense. Most of the time, you're not just going to tell somebody like, this is how much money I have in my bank account. This is how much money I made last year randomly. But what problems is like, even in corporate, it happens a lot in corporate where people don't know how much somebody else is getting paid, and that affects your negotiating skills. That affects your ability to actually ask for a raise. That is, you don't know how to gauge if you're getting underpaid or not. Right. So sharing information and actually knowing what the numbers are beneficial for sure.
Yeah.
And that's something that, I think you got to kind of be a little bit more comfortable doing that.
Yeah.
Because that's something that is helpful. It's not like you're just sharing that information just to make people nosy and jealous about what you got. So
Yeah, motivate.
delicate
Intention.
situation. But like I said, I think you got to use your common sense. See, obviously some people it's just there's no benefit in sharing it. Like if there's no benefit in sharing the information, then what's the point in sharing it? But if there's a benefit for you or for somebody else, and you can see like that's actually beneficial, then I think that it's a different conversation.
Yeah.
Before we leave,
They're gonna tell you how much they got in their bank account.
Let me switch it over. All right. So first off, guys, drop it in the chat. Let us know what your takeaways were from what the guys from EYL had to say, and let us know your answers. Actually, if that's something that you do, what situations do you find yourself doing that in? What's your final thought?
I mean, I love what they talked about in terms of industry. It just makes sense to talk to people in your industry about what everybody's making. What the conversation he talked about podcasters. I mean, those are people in their industry, right? So of course they're going to have those conversations. The two of them do have a unique relationship in that they have always been friends and then decided as friends to enter into a business together. And so I wish they would talk a little bit more about that.
Like how to grow that brand.
Yeah, well, not just how to grow grow the brand, like what each of their mindsets were as like, okay, we're gonna do this, we're gonna be friends. Were there any points where things got a little like weird and like it was just like miscommunication or whatever? Because I think the two of them also recognize that like, I think what makes the brand and the business do well is the fact that they're friends, to be quite honest. And so I feel like that's a part of like who they are in their business. I don't know. I would like to hear a little bit more about that. They just kind of made it said like, well, we're unique. So, but I don't know how unique is that situation. I'm not really sure. So I would love for them to talk about that a little bit more openly.
For the purpose of modeling it or just interest?
Both. It's like when we were listening to oh gosh, I'm thinking of her. She's the one who buys businesses instead of real estate.
I'm familiar. Unfortunately, you said it yesterday. Her name never comes to me. But
okay. Well, we've seen interviews with her on Diary CEO, and she talks about it. Like, I wish people would be more transparent about the deals that they make, about like how much money was that, right? Like to me, it's in the same family of conversations. It's like I wish they would also be transparent about what it's like to be friends running a business. And like what that entails, what it takes, what they figured out works, what they figured out doesn't work, like those kinds of things. So I just think it would be great to just know, right? It might encourage more friends to work together, and maybe like, that's a good thing. On the flip side, I think Ian in the very beginning was like, yeah, this is what happened when I told my friends. And it felt very similar to like, when I started my network marketing business 8 years ago and I was talking to my closest friends, and then like the conversations around money just got weird. So I can totally relate to that. So what they said is relatable. I think it depends, which is why your answer is like, it could strengthen or it could break. I think it depends on the relationship.
To begin with, yeah.
Yeah. The way you guys communicate, right, leading into it.
I think, and I agree with I think it's interesting because what came to mind is he was talking about that one friend that he, and it's funny, he said he's my guy, but he's not one of my best friends. He kind of prefaced it that way afterwards. And it made me think of a day where I was meeting up with I wouldn't even call him a friend, but just somebody I know of. And for whatever reason, I'm happening to be looking at real estate, and there's a property that I've just been looking at for a period of time now. And so I show it to him, and this property is in the millions. And the relationship I have with this guy, I don't know what he thinks of. I don't know what he knows of my financial situation, but I know that in his mind, when I showed him this property, the face he made, and it wasn't necessarily envying like what I can't remember this guy. Is the guy on guy's Ian? That guy's him? Okay. It wasn't a similar reaction, but it was one that made me think, oh, you do have to be mindful of who you talk to about different things. You know what I mean? Because everyone isn't in that same place mentally. And And it could become one of those things where, and again, it depends on what that person could do in terms of affecting your overall lifestyle. This is, again, a guy that I know in passing in some sense. But it was funny because the reaction I was expecting to get from him, like interest and all that, he was just like, oh, that much? and again, a different person, Janelle now, who she and I have looked at properties. Janelle's looking at properties in Africa at one point. So Janelle's going to see that and go, oh, okay, that's reasonable, because the relationship we've had and the conversations we've had have opened us up to looking at properties and talking about things like that. And so if you could think of maybe another example, there are probably people in your life that if you're in a relationship, you don't talk to those people about that.
Right.
And you may know they're great friends. We can do these things, but that subject just may not be the subject to bring to this friend. You know what I mean? I think this money falls in that scope. But overall, I definitely think there should be people in your life you are having conversations with this about, especially as our audience, entrepreneurs. I think you should have someone in your life that you are having this conversation about. Even if you're at your job, you heard him say it. Find out what the going rate is for what you do. Are you being underpaid? Maybe you're not going to get that information at your firm or wherever you are directly, but I'm sure that information is out there, or you may know someone or be able to open the conversation up with someone else about just that. You know what I mean? Because as you know, budding entrepreneurs, that side hustle right now could use as much funding as it can get from your 9 to 5 as possible. So I'll give you an example, and I'm just shooting this out there, but I'm sure if Janelle made an extra 5, it would help her business, because there are other things now that she's able to do and leverage in that business because of that extra money she's getting on a consistent basis from her 9 to 5. So I definitely think for our audience, this is definitely something that should be on the top of your list of you should be having conversations about money, aspirational goals, things like that. You know, some money you can dream with. I think a lot of those are money conversations. Remember, chess on a yacht. That is still one of my things, by the way.
Oh yeah, no, that's gonna happen.
Go back to season 1, guys. You'll understand what chess on a yacht is. But chess on a yacht is on the goal, and that's a couple $1 million to do what we're talking. Just to play go play chess on a yacht.
Yeah,
we're in that circle of friends.
Yes, say that. And Cody Sanchez, shout out to Cody Sanchez if she ever watches this, or anybody else who watches.
DM it to her.
Yeah, one DM it to her, because I really do value everything that she provides. I think it's she provides an extremely unique perspective that's really needed right now. So I really
transparency.
Yeah, a level of transparency in business I think is super needed. So I fully endorse everything that she puts out there, and want to give her props where it's due, and that that's like one of her talking points is to be more transparent in that area.
Don't you think that that's been really think about what the book Think and Grow Rich is about? It's about getting you into the mindset of these people who've been super successful.
Yeah,
that's what many people. It's not that you were born a certain race, you're in this. A lot of this, guys, it is just our mindset.
Yep.
I mean, if you could understand how wealthy people think, you can have the things they can have. I mean, even when she broke down the Reese Witherspoon thing, didn't seem like it was a Reese Witherspoon. She even said it. I don't know, but I don't think Reese is this super genius. Right. She may have a person who just walks her through this. Now that all of us can do that. Right. And literally, Janelle and I are sitting here like, oh, if we establish a production company, how can we use what Reese is doing to just turn that into add that into what we're doing and build on our platform?
100%.
You know, so knowledge, transparency is definitely a big part of this. I think that's the difference between, or one of the differences between like the ultra rich. They talk about it, tax loopholes. You know, they have a person that knows.
Right. It's all about the people you know and getting behind the curtain. Yeah. And to that end, I want to plug my masterclass is coming up on Tuesday, September 26th. I'm doing the 4 steps to a 6-figure mindset. So
today?
It's September 26th, Tuesday. September
I heard this 6. I'm like, what?
Oh, sorry.
Okay, thank you.
September 26th. It's going to be at 7:30 Eastern. And so I'll put the registration link for that.
I was just about to say, could you please throw that up? Yeah. Thank you.
because it's mindset. It really is mindset, but it's helpful to also have someone walk you through that mindset. And P.S. This is a masterclass that's free, so it doesn't cost you anything to join. Just your time to gather information.
Free 99, guys. Actually, no, let's get a flyer up next week so that we can start promoting that every week.
Oh yeah, cool.
If we could. Okay. All right, guys. So happy to be back. I hope you guys got some value out of the content today. I see Jeannie in the comments loving this. Definitely make sure, guys, again, if you have not yet subscribed, please subscribe. It helps our algorithms. It helps get this content out to other people. Like the videos. Every single thumbs up makes a big difference and goes a huge way in just helping us reach a wider audience with our content. And don't forget to, if I haven't said it already, subscribe, guys. Hit that subscribe bell and subscribe button and the notification bell.
Yes.
That way you know every single week that we have anything. Monday, Wednesday, we throw a Friday in there. You guys want to be notified about everything that we have coming up. All right?
Say that.
But we'll leave you here. So, as always, remember, you deserve the good life. Say that.
We'll
see you guys on Monday. Peace.